Welcome back. Dale Myers with Vision Advance. Today we're going to discuss how to avoid business failure. What are some common reasons for business failure? That in itself is a reason to listen to this video. According to the SBA, the Small Business Administration, within 2 years, 1/3 of all new businesses go out of business. They fail. Of those that do succeed after 4 years, so 2 more years, 56% of those have also failed. What needs to happen to keep you in business? So here are some things that we need to address. Now, I know that I am a proponent of failing early, failing often, because we learn through the failure. And I've done a series of videos on that, and I'll include a couple of those in the description below. But we're talking about, we know that we're going to fail in certain areas, learn from that and keep moving. We're trying to manage the cost of those failures, not the rate, but the cost of the failures. The ultimate cost is if you go out of business, right? Now, of course, you can always start another one, but we're trying to prevent this one from going out of business, right? So we're talking about the ultimate failure that we're trying to prevent. Having said all of that, everything I'm going to say to you today revolves around leadership. Every problem that we are going to discuss can be offset, affected, improved by effective leadership. So while we're going to discuss finance, we're going to discuss people problems, we're going to discuss a lot of things, understand that if you improve yourself as a leader, if you improve your leadership team, empower them with correct skills and knowledge that they need, you have a chance to be successful as long as you are disciplined to do the daily must. So, having said all of that, a lot of people would say, and I teeter on the fence here, being honest with you, is the most important quality the ability of the leader to set the vision and develop strategy, or is it to do competitive and market analysis? Both are key components. I am leaning towards competitive analysis and talking to your customers. One reason that most businesses go out of business, they fail, is because they do not know how to satisfy their customer, or there aren't enough customers, or they aren't reaching a customer in the right way. This is all done on the front end. Now, it's also something we do on an ongoing basis, but if you do your research on the front end, you become better prepared. You know exactly what's all of the competitive landscape. What are your competitors doing? What are the substitute products for what you need? If you do this on the front end, remember we talked about leadership. That's what if we're going to lead this organization into the future, we need to do this on the front end, and we can avoid that because that's one of the key things that the reasons that businesses fail. So one way to avoid business failure is to do this on the front end. And if you didn't do it on the front end, it's okay. We're going to start with where we are, start talking to our customers, identifying what exactly do they need, how can I fulfill it better than my competition. In order to do that, I need to know exactly what's my competitors, my different competitors, my top ones, my primary, my secondary, what are they trying to do within the marketplaces. Again, subject for another day. We've talked about a few of those before. All right, let's see what else. Now, I said that the other one was the visionary leader. Now, when I say visionary leader, I'm not just saying I have a vision for the company. Well, we all have visions. Some of us just have dreams. But visionary leaders develop a strategy based on data, research. We develop a strategy to guide our organization over the next couple of years. It used to be 5, 10 years. We can look 5 to 10 years down the road and say where we want to be, with the understanding that we live in a very dynamic marketplace today, ever changing, so that our business strategy is going to be revised. Having said all of that, the leader sets the vision, communicates it down through all of the channels. One thing that often causes businesses to fail is that if you have employees, they don't really align with and identify with the vision. That's on the leader. Leadership vision must be communicated all throughout the chain, because here's why. That's related to the culture. The leader defines the culture. The small business will have the culture of its founder more than likely. And then that culture, I'm going to bring in, the culture is going to affect my hiring processes. That's another reason why businesses fail, bringing on the wrong people. Well, so if I have a clearly defined culture, I know my culture, what it looks like, then I include that as part of my hiring process. And then along with the hiring process, when that shapes my culture of innovation, how much risk taking. Sometimes we take the wrong risk, which that's kind of sort of part of it, or we're not willing to take the right risk. We're not willing to stretch ourselves. So again, that's on the leadership, creating that culture there. All right. While we're still on this, so this is the people part. Business can be broken down into people, product, and processes. We're on the people part, but that's the culture set in place by the leader. All right. So leadership, vision, strategy. Part of the strategy includes our culture and then our tactics. It's not good enough to just have the vision. You have to have goals, objectives that we need to meet, that we review these on a ongoing basis, and then how we measure it. And then after we measure it, do we need to revise something? Are our assumptions valid? And then we redo. Ongoing process. Most business owners set that up. So I'm obliged to say that every business owner needs an effective business plan. What we just talked about was, in essence, a big part of your business plan, with the exception that I didn't talk about financial projections. So yes, everything we just said is a part of the business plan. You need a business plan. Most of us just don't need that big, thick one that everyone spends months preparing. We'll talk about that coming soon. But financial projections is a part of that business plan. Do you make financial projections? Are they even close to being valid? They don't have to be right. They're never going to be exactly right. But do you manage accordingly? Do you have a budget in place that controls spending? That one's huge. Do you have a budget in place based on your projections? Managing our cash flow. That's one of the biggest things we can do as entrepreneurs, manage our cash flow. All right. Let's see, what else did I leave off? So I said lack of preparedness. Actually, you know what? Related to the marketing, outdated marketing, not using the current tactics. I'm not telling you that you have to go all in on digital, because I don't even do that in my business. I still use a good bit of physical marketing tools. But have you updated your website? Does it look professional relative to your competitors? You don't have to have everything that the social media gurus are telling you must do, but you need to have up-to-date marketing. All right. Again, guys, a lot of these things we've discussed before, but this is literally how to avoid failure in business. Work on yourself. All of these things can be controlled by the leader. Become a visionary leader, which means you set the vision. You develop the culture, which controls the hiring, which controls who you bring on board. It guides the internal conflicts. How do we deal with people when we have problems within the organization? It guides people on how they are to treat each other in the organization, how they are to treat our customers and our upstream, downstream suppliers, all of these different things. Our culture dictates that. That is set in place by the leader. All of this comes back to you, my small business friend. It all comes back to you. All of these are under your control. Yes, you may be saying, well, you didn't really touch much on money management. I talked about the budgeting piece. Here's the thing. Money is always going to be an issue, and you can focus too much on money instead of focusing on your people, your processes, and product. Oh, I left that one out. Most of us don't take the time to invest in processes and systems. Systems are templates to be laid on the top of processes. You put your processes in place before you were ready to try to grow. Now, just getting this thing off the ground, we may not have everything intact, but when you're trying to bring new people into this thing, get your systems and processes in place. So, guys, I could make this a lot longer. I'm trying not to. Focus on you first. We do need to develop the vision, the strategy, the tactics, including the culture, including our analysis of the marketplace, our analysis of our customers and our competitors, our substitute products. We need to develop clear financials, cash flow projections, balance sheets, all of this other stuff. Again, systems and processes. If we do that, project, measure, analyze, revise, redo, and keep going. If you do that, you'll be okay. Work on yourself. All of these skills that we talked about are learnable. You can literally learn everything that we've talked about. There is no excuse. The only thing is, do you have the discipline to do it? Do you have the discipline to avoid failure? How can you avoid failure in business? Become more disciplined as a leader to do the small things. It's the small things that will ensure your success as a business owner. Having said that, what's the one thing that you know that you need to get better at to avoid failure in business? I'm Dale Myers with Vision Advance. Please thumbs up, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, share it on all of your socials. We'll talk soon. Take care.